All right, man. You got people saying the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Orlando Magic. I could be forgetting the team. Houston Rockets. Could the Pistons be next? And no, the Pistons can't be next. All right, they not. I ain't gonna say they ain't gonna be next anytime soon. Now you probably be like, why the Pistons not in that tier? They got a bunch of young talent, and the problem is the talent don't work together. And for many years, I think we put a lot of emphasis on them missing out on a Donovan Mitchell. Them missing out on Giannis Antetokounmpo, or them missing out on who else has been out there that we missed? Carmelo Anthony. We'd never let that go. I mean, it's been so many misses. Historically, maybe, and I've said this before of recent, so I won't spend much time on it. Try not to. Maybe the Pistons development just suck, and this is not a Tom Gores thing. This is a thing that's been going on, with the franchise forever. Their inability to develop talent. That's the problem. They have the inability to develop talent. And, before we talk about talent, obviously, what if this same talent was in Orlando or in Minnesota or in Houston? They probably would be a playoff fringe team, bare minimum. Right? So once you historically have an issue with developing players, and then you have a toxic workplace or organization, I mean, you have somebody that got grape soda. You catch what I'm saying? They was hollering about grape soda in the organization. They just settled that suit. All right, you got too many chefs in the kitchen. You got Arn and Ed. Ed was being the GM but didn't want the title. I don't understand that. Like, well, I mean, you paying child support or alimony? So, you don't want the title, so, you can, so you ain't gotta, be on payroll or your pay to go up. You rather just get paid under the table? Okay, maybe that's the case. That's the only thing I could think of. All right? Then you got the general manager that they hired. They won't allow him to hire his own coach. When he got down to two candidates, not saying it would have worked or wouldn't have worked, and Charles Lee and Kevin Ali, they chose not to, even though that was the cheaper route. They go over his head and hire Monty. You could tell that he wasn't in on Monty because a few reasons why. When they was asked about bringing Monty in at the opening press conference, he kept deferring to Tom Gores, and he didn't look like he was happy. Right? Probably some promises was made. Okay, if Dwayne, you don't make it with Dwayne ain't the right coach. You can pick your own coach, and they lied to him. Right? I'm pretty sure that's probably what happened, or that he was under the assumption that he'd be able to pick his own head coach. And then another reason too why, and I continue to hate to re-say this thing, but people may not know or watch all the videos. Right? Reason two is because he had to tell the owner to come from California to tell the head coach to put Jay Ivey in. So right then and there, it's dysfunction. An organization is run with everybody on the same page when you make a decision. Not, this people feel this. Like, you get the draft room and you will say, well, some people feel like we should take Bo Nix. Just a random thought in my head. Some people be like, oh, no, we should just take a lineman and, figure it out later. Y'all come together. Y'all weigh the pros and cons, and ultimately it's one person that make the decision. Now, in each organization, it's a different guy. Some organizations, it's Jerry Jones. It's the owner. It's Tom Gores. In other organizations, it's you the president of football operations, or you the president of basketball operations, or you the GM. You make that decision. I'm gonna support whatever you support. I'm gonna support whatever decision you support. Excuse me. So now you're starting to see why. And when you put a historic issue with developing talent on the table, now you see why the organization can't be in the same vein as Minnesota, Oklahoma City, Orlando, Houston, Cleveland is another young team. And people say, well, you just add, some veteran talent. Okay, got a few problems with adding just veteran talent. One, how you gonna get any respectable talent to come here, and want to be here? Two, like I continue to use the analogy, when you bring clean water and pour it into a dirty lake, what does the clean water become? It becomes a dirty lake. So anything toxic that you bring into this situation, anything you clean that you bring in this situation, probably going to become toxic. So it's too many wounds to go out there and go back to battle. You got to heal these wounds. They have to heal these wounds. So healing those wounds is going to detail them cleaning up the organization first. What do you guys do when you have a problem? Be honest. When you have a problem, whatever it may be, and you have to self fix the problem, what do you do? Me personally, sometimes at night, some people say that some people took the problem with them. Not tell people. I say sometimes at night before I go to bed, I lay there and I unload all my thoughts so I can go to sleep with a clear mind. Whatever on my mind, I just think about it, clear it out. Maybe when I'm working out, I go through my problems in my head. Oh, this is what I should do. Or and a lot of times, a lot of men, we're naturally planners. So when we have issues, we can't see every issue coming. Trust and believe me. But we try to prepare. Like, okay, if this happened, that happened. We just naturally prepare for the worst. So when we have issues, what y'all do? Obviously, you trying to find a fucking solution. And if you wait for the issue to come to find a solution, you know what I'm saying? Then, hey, that's fine too. Maybe you're a critical thinker, you're a quick thinker, or whatever. But you trying to find a solution before the problem truly hit home. You're trying to find a solution. So right now, they should be trying to find a solution to clear up the organization. I think that's finding the president of basketball operations. That way, maybe he can send Monty on his way, send Troy on his way, all the bad apples, their kids and their family members that's in the organization. I think that's them the two things that single-handedly holding the Pistons back from being those younger teams on the rise. Orlando, Cleveland, Houston, Oklahoma City. That's them the only things that's holding them back. It's not, you got the owner that's willing to spend the cash. You got the city behind you, right? If they do well, they get their own arena downtown. Trust and believe me. The only thing that's holding the Detroit Pistons back is the lack of development, and that's been a problem before Gores got here. And number two, it's just the organization got too many chefs in the kitchen. They need one sound, one band, one voice, one band, like drumline. That's it. They get that, and everything gonna fall into place. Everybody gotta see the picture in the same way. Everybody gotta see. You gotta come. And the Pistons did it beautiful. The Lions did it beautifully with Brad Holmes. They know what type of football team they want to build. Him and Dan sat down. This the player we want. This the player that, the guys, if they don't have these qualities, we just can't break the rule. They laid it out. So they got to sit there and lay it on out. This is the plan. It's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever it may be. This is what we standing on. If they fix the development issue and they fix the organizational issues and get everybody on one track and one leader and one organization that sees basketball through his lens, the Pistons could turn this thing around overnight. They got the talent, they got the assets, they got the cash. That's the scariest thing about it. They're in a position to turn it around. Everything is where you need to be. You got assets, you got cash, you got money. Other than people wanting to play here with a fucked up organization, excuse my language. But the only thing you truly missing is a vision. They're in a dangerous place right now. They're in a great place, but a dangerous place. They're in a great place because somebody that come here, they got a lot to work with. But the dangerous thing about it, whoever come here, they got a lot to work with. So they can misuse those assets and misuse those funds that's available. So check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Check out my other work. Just hit the link tree. You can find me on the channels and platforms. Peace.